This is their packing room. This is where they bring it in from most of the ponds and they start to pack it out to go to all the different fish stores. And you can kind of see at each one of their stations they have a sink and they're running water. They're cleaning the plants. They're kind of do a little sterilization as they come through here. Most of it looks like what they're doing right now is all stem plants. But when we got here earlier, this place was packed with folks. Piles of plants everywhere, and then producing them. You can see this one here where they got the stem plants. He puts them all together and then bands them. So we're going to go ahead and go into, this is their first set of greenhouses. This one's a little bit climate controlled, and you can kind of see they have coolers, and it's not the typical 100 degrees Florida sun in here. And a lot of swords through this area. Some of the different ornamentals over there. Packing station here. This is, they're doing some transplanting and getting them ready to go into production. Corkscrew? Corkscrew. This is some of their holding area for corkscrew valve through here. And they use these plastic tubs. And you can see down here where they don't have anything, they've got them pulled apart and they clean them and ready for the next shipment to come in, because a lot of this is where it's just holding for retail stores, for where they ship out of. This is a lot of their sword production over here. You can see that. There's a ton of it. There's probably 3 or 4 trays of just all different varieties of sword production. Here's one that's really cool. Here's some Monte Carlo. And they do these in kind of a bed. I mean, it's just, it looks like a carpet. Well, I want to take my shoes off and run through it, but
they probably wouldn't like that.
Yeah, something tells me they'd frown. I might get a bill for it. We give these guys enough money. I don't know that we need to give them any more. What do we got back here? Is that Wisteria or Water Sprite or something they've got producing over here? Water Sprite, yeah, a lot of Water Sprite production. And you can kind of see what they got. Look, here's where they'll come in, they'll take a lot of their clippings from here, and then it ends up looking like this. This is where they've come through and they've harvested a bunch. Same way over here, you can see where there's different areas where they've kind of harvested out of there. Pretty neat. They said that they're doing some different things here. They got some new tables that they're going to do. And you can see it's climate controlled. They've got fans on this side. On the opposite end, you can see they've got what they call a swamp cooler. And it keeps a little bit cool in here for us. Well, not just for us, but for the plants. Here's a lot of Java fern in production down here. Different species of Java. Quite a few tables of it. More Water Sprite there. Let's see what else we got down here. You can see they got a lot of the cryptocorns here, and they're weeding. They, being here in the greenhouse, it's not just good stuff they're harvesting out of here. They got a lot of different weeds and stuff they got to pull. So there's a lot of maintenance to keeping these greenhouses perfect. He says one shift, how did he say it? That one shift comes in after they're done packing out. They basically all have responsibility of a different area. Each employee has a responsibility of a different area. And then they kind of disperse from the packing area and do whatever maintenance, whether it's weeding or getting new beds ready for new products. Let's go down through here, because I know there was a lot of really cool stuff in through here. Some different swords. What are these? These are ocelots, maybe?
They might be the radicans.
radicans. It's really tough to tell what some of these different species are because they're in their land form.
All the Anubias up and down here.
Yep, this is all Anubias. Lots of Anubias. He said they can't even produce enough Anubias. But lots of different sorts. I love these. They're so beautiful. Different crypts through here. Wow, look how full these are. Lucens. Crypticorn lucens. So I mean, it's really overwhelming when you come in here, the amount of plants. Let's go down there where they had all that all those petite cultures they were doing. Anubias petite down here. We walked in, there's just trays and trays and trays of it.
A little bit of it.
All right, yeah, a little bit here.
The crypt flamingo that they
Oh,
were
the
trying
flamingo.
to grow out.
So these were in their land form, and then I guess these guys here, they had been doing some research in water and seeing how they could get them to pink up a little bit more, and he said that was really what they thought was the best method. A lot of petite. These were done from tissue cultures.
And then started putting it on.
Yep, Anubias on wood. This is the area where this whole area here is all different species of Anubias that they've put onto wood. And he said that they don't come out of here basically until they're really grabbed onto these rocks, or onto these wood. But
So like this one, for instance, is already nice and grabbed onto that piece. They drill a hole through it. If they need to, they'll put a little rock wool around, but then they'll give it about a month or so for it to actually attach itself onto the wood before they'll actually send it out.
some of these are really cool. This ain't no joke, that's for sure.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Alright, this one isn't as temperature controlled as the last room, unfortunately. You see they got a bunch of different species growing in these nice little long vats here. Some nice golden. Hair grass. Lots and lots and lots.
Lots of hair grass.
Tons of hair grass. That's another one you could take your shoes off and, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of coarse. Kind of creep me out. Get all them between your toes. I'd rather run through that
Monte
that
Carlo.
Monte Carlo.
I don't think I want to run through any of it. Over here they have a bunch of them that have been put into pots. Some different stem plants they've done.
So this is all the potted area. This is where they've put a lot of the things in a rock wool. You can see where they do the rock wool here, and this is where they do all your potted plants. He said potted plants.
Some dwarf hair grass.
Yeah, he said they can't keep up on production. Mm-hmm. And look, there's some more of that wisteria water sprite or whichever one that is, and they would have harvested that from the area we were at before and put it into these rock wool.
Here's your Monte Carlo that you want to.
That I want to run through. That is not as.
Well,
doesn't make me want to run through it as much.
It's getting a little bushy.
Yeah,
over
there you
here.
go. There you go.
Some of the Anubias they've put into some pots.
Bacopa over here.
Yes, that is Bacopa.
Look at those pretty flowers.
Yeah, it's the one nice thing. The plants aren't fully aquatic, so they're gonna flower up like this. Unfortunately, once they get into your tanks, they lose all those flowers. But they're pretty for right now.
And here's what you got. So, rock wool. You can see this little guy's already started to root, and I would imagine these wouldn't come out of here until they actually had some root structure. That's why you're paying a little bit more for a potted plant. It's not just a cutting. you're getting something that's already rooted. The likelihood of it doing better for you is pretty good. A lot of Anubias, a lot of potted Anubias through here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice swords. Let's go to the bog area. They've got a lot of your terrestrial stuff for ponds. A lot of that through here. Papyrus. I don't know a lot of like that. I know a lot of you folks don't do ponds, but this is a lot of stuff that people are going to do on the shores of their ponds.
Not sure what that is, but that's a very pretty
That's
red.
pretty neat. Looks like a maple leaf. Look at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a red maple leaf.
That's really pretty.
It is. Do a close up of that. That is pretty neat. I don't know if any of y'all know what that is. Let us know. That's very different.
Have to ask our rep.
We take you through some of these different plants here, but this is definitely not my specialty. A lot of these pond plants, but neat nonetheless to see how it's produced.
Some of the nice big ones there said they were holding for next year's production. These are pretty, the variegated leaves on them.
Oh yeah, those are really cool. I want to show this sensitive plant. This is called sensitive plant. Let's see if we can get it to actually work. Watch this. It actually closes up. I know, I'm kind of a simpleton. I'm easily amused. What can I say? It's pretty neat. You know, I got some of this growing in my yard actually.
Mosaic.
Yeah, mosaic. This is so pretty. We had it in for a little while. For some reason, it really didn't sell. Very neat though.
Actually, here, if you look at this is what it actually does on the water column.
There you go. See how it gets kind
It just floats on top of the water.
of floats. You can do it in a bog. You can do it in the top of your tank if you got maybe an open top tank. All right, well, let's hit some of these other areas. This is another area they have. These are little flooded ponds. Most of them are like one cinder block high, and they line them. They call them beds. And
You said this was the first area that they had.
yeah, this was one of their first areas. But look, it just goes on forever. I mean, there's days of content we could film here, but unfortunately we got to go back to the store. I'm sure our other co-workers are hating us right now for leaving them stranded. Let me show you my care face. Can you show them your care face? Yeah, yeah, exactly. So looks like these guys here there's nothing in production here. And it's cool because they continuously pump water into some of these beds, and the water just kind of flows. You know, it's well water, so of course they've got drainage. It all goes into, they have like a retention pond, and it just soaks back up into the ground. And what do we got here? I don't know if it's tough to see through that screen. Let's see if I can open this door. I know I wasn't very talented at it last time. Well, that one opens up a lot easier. But it just goes on forever back here. What is it? This is parrot's feather here.
Yes.
And Rotala? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this entire thing is Rotala. You can see, look how there's a lot of growth here. And as we get down by a little bit, you can see where they've harvested it out. There's a lady a few greenhouses over, and she's over here basically It looks like she's weeding over there. When we came through earlier, they were in production mode and they were pulling cuttings to take to the packing house. And yeah, they said there's a lot of work in this. There's a lot of weeding. It's not all oh, grow it in a bin and cut it and sell it. That's far from the truth. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Before I thought, why don't I grow plants on a production? I mean, I live in Florida. Why can't I do that? Yeah, this is why you can't do it. I mean, to be able to keep up. Pennywort. Yep. And in Florida, this grows in your yard.
Yeah.
I spray this to kill it out of my grass.
Maybe you should start bringing that in.
Yeah, right. What is this, micro sword over here? It sure is. Yeah, look, this is all micro sword here. Looks like they got some nut grass growing in there. I've got that growing in one of my pastures. I can't get rid of it.
That's the only kind of grass I can get to grow at home. You kidding me?
What, pasture grass or nut grass?
Nut grass.
Listen, you shouldn't talk about your husband like that, Alicia. If he's watching, Matt, if you're watching, I'm sticking up for you, brother. Let's see if I can figure out this door lock. Got to be smarter than the door. I mean, I could take in every one of these doors, but there's not enough time to show off everything that these folks have. What do we got here? Temple? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Temple. Let's go in here because you can actually. Oh, and there's one of their production trucks back there. I think this is the one we couldn't get into earlier. So here is where they've come through, and you can see where they've picked it over. Yep, there's a lot of duckweed in there, but that's just part of it. And you can see she's down there. She's cleaning up. They were weeding. Oh no, I think that's all production stuff.
Yeah.
And you can see beyond her, I can't zoom in, but beyond her is another door, and they've got golf carts. So they basically cut and put them in trays, and then they run to the packing house. What do we got here? What is this stuff here on the right? The red.
Looks like a type of Ludwigia.
That's what I figured.
Maybe Princess.
I'll let you handle that, Joe. I know it's kind of a...
Thanks.
Here's where we were before, where they have all their bog and terrestrial plants. And you can see on the top, they have plastic, so and they're shaded. Different areas in there have different light amounts that they're able to come in. Believe it or not, they paint the plastic every year. What lasts about 6 months, and then they have to repaint it on there.
And the point was the paint with lasting 6 months will get you through the summertime, so that way your hottest, brightest sun time is actually being blocked out. By the time it fades off, you're in the winter time when you're going to want a little bit more sunlight to let through. So they'll go that 6 months before they actually paint it on again.
I want to know who's the guy that who's the sucker that goes up there and paints. Can you imagine? Because I mean, it's a gutter. What are you gonna do? Walk in the gutter and with a pole? Not me, brother. Not me. Nobody ever said that nursery business was an easy business. So what? I don't remember what they had in production in here. Let's see if we can see. They've got this one closed, and I don't know how to open it. I don't see anything. Looks like there was some val growing. Here's one of their wells. They said they had 3 or 4 wells in the property to be able to produce enough water. What do we got in here? Not sure. Well, here's a good example. Here's an example of where they come through to do production. Let's see if I can just stick the camera through this little hole here. We don't have to close these doors up. This first one is all harvested, and that's what it looks like before they harvest. The one to the left is just empty, an empty grow bed where you said about this time of the year that they ramp up production in the summer to get them through the cold months in the winter, because of course cold, you're not going to produce as much. They do extra beds for the winter, and being the plants grow at such a more vigorous rate in the summer, they don't have to use quite all these beds. So really it's a game of juggling and knowing way ahead of time of what you're going to need. I mean, that's not easy in this business. Something's popular for 6 or 8 months, and then it's not popular anymore. It's only popular if they say it's popular online. That's basically what it boils down to. And here's another area where they've come through for production. Man, these things are so hard to open. I've gone through here. Here's that Bacopa. The Bacopa we saw in the pots a few minutes ago. Here's where it's produced. See all them pretty blue flowers? That was the first greenhouse we were in. We're on the back side of that, and that's the one that was air cooled. Kind of feels good here with that air being drawn. That was the only building that had a swamp cooler. And if you're not familiar with a swamp cooler, it's like it's a material that they run air through it and they drip water down the material, and then the water goes back into a vat and cools off and just keeps recirculating. This is all valve. This is a jumbo valve. You can see how they
nice roots
right down in the substrate, and it just goes on forever. I think this camera's waterproof, but my luck is we'd stick it in the water and then wouldn't have any audio because the audio port was clogged up. But so a lot of this, he said, was holding. I don't know that they do a lot of this val here in house. It grows in Florida. There was a few items that they don't produce themselves that are actually harvested out of nature. Check those out. Can I get over there without getting killed?
Down at the end, walk around.
Right here, there's a board. Let's see. I don't know how well that's going to work out in boots. You'd think I'd come a little more dressed to a fish farm, but I figured with something like this that there was going to be a lot of mosquitoes, and my favorite thing is not to get bit up by mosquitoes. I get that happens to me enough on my time off. I don't need it on my time on. Ooh, Alicia, if I go in,
I'm gonna laugh.
You gonna laugh?
I'll take video of it.
Oh, you're just wrong. Look at this pink flower on these lilies. They kind of have a red. That's super cool. Look how bright green those are compared to these. All right, do I got to walk the tightrope all the way down? No, I'll just go back. These bricks under here are not filled with with anything, so they're kind of hollow. I wonder if their workman's comp covers that. No. I wonder if my workman's comp covers that.
I'm sure this
oh
is,
boy. Can you imagine?
OSHA approved.
OSHA, this is super OSHA approved. What do they have over there? Is that Similis?
Salvini.
Salvini. We won't go over there. I want to show. Oh no, look, they've got more in production over here. So this is what it looks like when look at the frogs jumping. You see all those frogs?
Oh my God, that's awesome.
They said that this is what it looks like when they bunch it. There's a frog jumping everywhere. So when they bunch it up, it comes into this shape, real weird looking.
It's so compact it rolls itself together.
That was his explanation.
During the summer, it gets so compact. Otherwise, it would be here. It'd be more laid out like that.
That's pretty neat. But I mean, look. I mean, it's thick in here. See if we can get some more of those little frogs to jump. No, they ain't no dummies. They went under.
One right
where?
there.
Oh, look, he's still got a tail. Let's see how close we can get to him. If you push me in, we're gonna have word. Oh, there he goes. He's still got a tail on him. Take out your phone, see if you can get a shot of that. All right, well, yeah, it's raining. Typical Florida weather. Look, rain in your front yard and not in your backyard. Welcome to Florida. Hey Alicia, you gonna melt if you get rained on?
Probably not, no.
Oh, in the Wizard of Oz, that's what happened to you, didn't it? Oh, here, look, here they've come through here this morning, done a bunch of production. See where they've cut, not cut, cut, not cut. Camera 1, camera 2.
Actually, the rain feels pretty good.
Yeah, it does. It was. I was sweating there for a little bit, like a stuck pig. Yeah, this is Wadelia. I have that in my front yard. That's it grows everywhere.
More temple.
Temple, yep.
Scarlet temple.
Scarlet temple.
Rotala.
Yeah, man.
Lots of Rotala.
Lots of Rotala. With some nutgrass, or no, that's yeah, that's nutgrass.
Wisteria and empty that. Almost empty.
So this is where they do a lot of their
Here's more of your sensitive plant with what he was showing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, let's show that.
So apparently when it's actually in more of a water type scenario, it grows this white, like almost mushy around it that actually helps it float. So instead of it just sinking down, it'll actually float because of this. It's almost like a styrofoam that it wraps around itself.
Let me wipe this camera off. Sorry for the technical difficulties here, but I want to make sure y'all get to see what you want. Now here's the same thing. Here's a sensitive plant, but
species of it.
It is a different species?
It's giant.
Oh, it's a giant. Now check this out. Look how it's got just like a woody stems on it, and then you get down here into the actual root layer, and like I said, they're blocks. We're about 2 high, and they're using some sort of a pond liner. He says they get pretty thrifty here. They use old billboard signs, anything you can to kind of cut a buck and to reuse materials. And luckily they got lily production out there. So you can hear the rain on the plastic. I don't know if it makes me feel like I'm being locked in.
Some thoughts.
Oh Lord. So what did he say?
Part of this, these are going to be the hardy lilies. So
these are all hardies.
They're kind of like your annuals. You have a cold winter snap, they're going to come back the following year. The tropicals that are a little further down, unless you're bringing them into a warm area, Florida, you're not really going to have an issue. We don't get cold enough. But for up north, if you have the tropicals, they're only going to last during the summer, whereas your hardies, like I said, will come back the following year.
Well, we made it into this greenhouse just in time. It is pouring. Look, there's a bunch of lilies with the bulbs. You can actually see the bulbs floating. I don't know if there's any over here. Yeah, here's one. Look. So it's a bulb. It can go dormant over the winter and it will grow back. And there's they got a whole plate of them over there. I want to show you these yellow ones over here. I don't know why I'm so amused by flowers. I just love flowers.
Yeah, I love the little flowers. Every time we have them in the store and they bloom, I take pictures of them.
Those are cool. I don't want to take a dip, but you know what? If it's for research and it's for y'all's viewing pleasure, if I fall in, well then I guess it's part of the job, right? Look at that. So you can see the rain on the outside. Look, here you go. Yep. Oh yeah, there are dragonflies in here on the flowers. That poor lady out there, she's still working. She's loading up stuff on her golf cart. They're bringing you your plants through rain, snow. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we don't get snow here. Sorry about that, I forgot. So, anacris. Here's a big tub of anacris, kind of mixed in with some of your lilies. Some more of that semulus.
Salvini.
Salvini. Why do I say semulus? I'm thinking African cichlids. They're not Tanganikans. No freaky Tanganikis. Yeah, boy. What else? Let's go down. These are all hardies through here. Let's get down here to where they had all of the tropicals. So the tropicals. Uh-oh. Little water coming through here. Watch out, Alicia. Melting area for you.
More flowers. Go see if you can
Oh,
drown
I can
yourself.
smell them. I bet it's these purple ones here. Oh, it is. They smell awesome. Check that out. Oh, dude, those smell awesome.
It is a dragonfly.
Do you think they frown upon if I come in here and take a bouquet home to my lady?
Probably.
Oh, man. I mean, it's just pond after pond of different colors through here. Look at those big purple ones with the yellow centers. Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I think they're doing the nasty. We won't show that. This is a G-rated commercial. We won't show the dragonflies. Yeah, no dragonfly reproduction on this channel, kids. PG only.
Glad you decided not to be a voyeur.
No, those days are in my past. They're gonna flag our YouTube video. Those two are gross. Check these out. These are variegated. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Oh, those got some, look at those crinkly leaves.
Yeah. They're not all the way open. None of them are. Look at that purple though.
Oh, man.
Look at that.
What? Those look fake. Man, makes me want to go home and dig a pond. Okay, I'm over it. I don't want to dig a pond anymore. That was,
Look at the leaves on
it's about as close. Oh, wow. Those are huge. Put your hand on one of those.
As long as you're not going to push me in, we're good.
Oh, you almost pushed me in earlier. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, right?
But I didn't, so you got to.
Oh, but you didn't. Yeah, but it was the thought. It was the
Well,
thought.
you can have the thought, just don't actually do it.
The only reason I'm not pushing you in is because I got to drive back to Tampa with
yeah.
you soaking
car.
wet in my car, and it still has that
Red
new
root
smell.
floater.
So here's the red root floater. This is probably what, 30 feet of red root floater, 30 by 8 or so. No, yeah, about 30 by 8, 25 by 8. But neat stuff. This was originally, a lot of people, we didn't sell this. People wanted to do it for their ponds, and all of a sudden it's become pretty popular. And here's why they call it red root. It's got their red roots. But it's a floater. It's a floater.
More your Salvini.
Oh, more of my simulus.
Lots more of
And
your
lots
Salvini.
more of this the simulus Salvini. I'm not gonna stop. You know my brain's broken. What, no comment on that?
No.
You're just gonna let that one go?
It's a PG rated video. So.
Oh, that's right. No bullying. No bullying. Alicia, kids, Alicia does not bully me. This is a bully-free work zone. Our HR department is very strict on those rules. Right, HR? That's neat. Lots of those little, oh, can't show it. Lots of those little dragonflies in this
Yes.
area.
Dragonflies are great though. Did you know that they eat mosquitoes?
Yes, I do. In fact, they get in on my porch, and I try to help them out, put them back outside so they don't die. But when they do die, I bring their little mummified corpses to Lauren for her collection of bugs. Yes, everybody, Lauren has a bug collection.
Yes.
An exoskeleton collection from many different inverts that we stock, doesn't she?
Oh yeah. If you ever see them sitting up on one of the counters,
That's why she's saving them for her collection. All right, well,
see how bad the rain is?
let's see how the rain is. Let's go over there to that hornwort holding tank they had and see what that's all about. All right, I know this is kind of random, but this is an area where here's a road that comes through between their different buildings, and they've cut their swales, their little ditches, and you can see where the water's exiting. That was the lily room that we were just in, and it just basically comes down and flows out. All right, so what did they call this area? This was their Anubias room? Is that what he called it?
Yes, this is the
Let's see. Wait, before you go in,
Lots of
here is a
anacris.
giant tub of anacris
And mosquito
and
larvae.
skeeters. Scoop some of those out of there and take them back to the store and feed them. Those fish will be your best friends forever.
So
Aluminum, is that what this is?
yeah, there's aluminum, purple waffle. Neither one of those will do well in your fish tank. Those are more bog plants. So we do not carry those, unfortunately.
It's a little dark in here. They've got, this is a room you can kind of see where they got shade cloth up, and it's under a big huge live oak. Here's some of their larger pieces through here. Look at these bad boys. Those are
Probably
huge.
the largest Anubias I've ever seen.
I didn't even know those were Anubias when he brought us in here. And I've seen these in some of the
Yeah.
ponds here locally.
I mean,
That's
these are
pretty
more
neat.
common. I think those are like Gigantosa, or it's a gigantic species. But these are Ostifolia, Rosiri, some of your more common aquarium ones, just in massive form.
No doubt.
Look at that. Bigger than my
It's a big
hand.
leaf. All right. This looks like they're dripping in water continuously here. Into little ponds. All right, well, let's go check out the next room. So this is a holding tank for nothing but hornwort. I mean, ooh, that water feels good. It's so hot, you're gonna have to stop me from getting in here.
Please don't get in there.
Oh, I don't know, it'd be kind of creepy with all that on you. He said there is 10,000, was it 10,000 or 100,000? I mean, it was something crazy how many bunches that they thought they had here. And they call it a boatload. And a boatload was 50 boxes.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a lot. I mean,
This was 2 boatloads, I think, he said, in this container alone.
well, look, right next to it, these are 40-foot ISO containers. And there's probably another 10 or 12 feet. So this gives you an idea. It's probably 50 by 20 probably. I don't think there's any, there's another vat here, but I don't think there's anything in this one.
There's a
There's
little bit.
yeah, a little bit of
there.
hornwort. And for
There's
not being a
stairs.
filtered system, huh?
There's stairs going down in.
Oh, there sure is. For not being a recirculating system, that water's pretty clean and clear, isn't it?
Hornwort's taking care of it.
Did we tour those over there? I don't remember what he said
Those
were.
are hyacinth and
I know
something
I
else.
know most people don't do them for aquariums, but let's go over. We'll at least go over there and see. So this is hyacinth and water lettuce. Oh yeah, this is definitely hyacinth here. You know, in Florida, this is an invasive species. This is something that you're not supposed to be in possession of. There's water lettuce in the middle too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the waterways here in Florida are littered with it. Up north, a lot of you folks up north, they use it in ponds, they use it in different things because it dies off. Here, it doesn't get cold enough to really do any damage and kill it off. Let's go around over here. And what do they got growing in these ponds over here? A couple different types of grass. Hair grass. Hair grass with something else. Looks like they got another well over here. Yep, same thing. More water hyacinth. And it's a neat plant. It got like a bulb on it. And I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen this before. But it grows all over the top of the water. Well, guys, I think that's going to conclude our time out here at Waterscapes. So thanks for joining us.